So I just did a deep dive learning about the air Kush technology, and now I'm gonna learn about how it goes into the TerpLoc technology, which I don't feel like I know enough about. So you guys represent Grove Bags. Let's touch base on your names and your roles within the company.
I'm Jack Rover. I'm one of the co-founders and the CEO.
I'm Luke, I'm the lead salesman.
How did you guys even come up with it? Because there's like a bag that like helps cure cannabis, but it also like breathes. And I'm like, where did this technology come from? And is it even real?
My family's kind of been around the packaging industry my entire life. My dad worked at a packaging company when I was a kid. I'm passionate about cannabis because my older brother Charlie suffered some really severe cerebral palsy, and cannabis absolutely changed his life and his quality of life. So I thought a way that my partners and I could do that would be creating a packaging system that elevated and protected the plant, because cannabis is such a volatile, fragile plant. It needs to be protected and stored across the supply chain.
The technology, it's kind of been used in the food industry you were mentioning,
Absolutely.
But you guys refined it for cannabis. So speak to that.
Great. Yeah, no, that's a very good question. So all the bags you see around you, whether it be these custom bags or some of these Wicked bags or some of these liners, it's all made out of our TerpLoc. And TerpLoc's a modified atmospheric film. Modified atmospheric films are very common in the food industry and becoming more and more common in all sorts of industries with products with a volatile shelf life, because modified atmospheric films are able to curate very specific internal microclimates. It's incredible what we can do with multi-layered resins these days in terms of creating products that can actually curate individual microclimates without the need for humidity packets, oxygen absorbers, nitrogen flushing, anything like that. We call this, active packaging.
Got it. I've seen you guys in the packaging. I'm in the grade A bud. We're talking about the Chief, and those are Grove bags. And I first looked at it and I was like, well, it's the grade A bud. Wouldn't they put it in glass? And then now I'm learning about this and I'm like, well, honestly, maybe the grade A bud does not want to go in glass. You want it in a bag because then the bag can keep it at the right humidity level. And let's speak to that a little bit.
Absolutely. Well, everybody has this built-up idea in their minds that the aesthetic of glass jar exudes this sense of premium quality and preserves the cannabis really well. But that's not true. Glass doesn't account for ultraviolet light, doesn't account that well for oxidation depending on your lid. It has a terrible static charge, which is hugely important. 90% of the terpenes hide out in the trichomes of the cannabis plant. And that, therefore, means when we get the static charge in a container, we're really rapidly degrading the terpenes and the overall qualitative experience of that medicine and the potency.
So you guys are actually making, your own brand bags, but then you're doing custom branding for farms like High Life Farms. But the last 2 years, you guys have been blowing up, and I see your bags at many different facilities.
We're actually in all 50 states and 52 countries. So here at High Life, we have some of their half-pound bags right here, all the way up to their large 1-pound bags. So they're using it all across their back end to preserve it. Over here, right behind you, we actually have the liners, 27-gallon totes, which they cure in. And then we just finished up with their Chief point-of-sale solventless in the 8th bags.
Guys, from air Kush to TerpLoc, with our powers combined, I think we could package the best cannabis in the world.